Live from the Golden Rule in Georgetown, Texas, this is the Eagle Nation Coaches Show with head coach Chuck Griffin. The Golden Rule, the official sponsor of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, is located at 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Eats, drinks, unmatched atmosphere. Above all else, goodwill, friendship, and kind regard. And now, here's your host, the voice of your Georgetown Eagles, Wally Harmon.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgetown Eagle Coaches Show, Eagle Nation Coaches Show, live from the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street here in Georgetown for tonight's broadcast, getting ready for the final regular season ball game of the year. We'll have a visit with head coach Chuck Griffin here in just a minute, and then a couple of defensive players we get to talk to tonight. But tonight to discuss about the victory over the Leander Glen Grizzlies, which guarantees the Georgetown Eagles a playoff spot. And then also eliminates, really, with a win from Cedar Park last week, eliminates the Glen Grizzlies from the playoffs. Yep. And so now a lot to discuss with Coach about the playoffs and so many different scenarios from first to fourth that could happen depending on the results from this week. But a game that the Eagles win in the face of adversity, an up-and-coming Glen team that has gotten into this a slot T type offense and some good running. I saw a highlight this week on Twitter about DJ Duggar, the running back, the sophomore, already setting the Glen Grizzly career rushing record, holds the most rushing yards in a career at Glen and season high, and he's just a sophomore. So a name you'll hear for the next couple of years, but impressive to watch Friday night. But a good ball game where the Eagles make maybe the defensive stand of a lifetime to win that ball game.
Yeah, that was a tremendous stand by the defense. Offense had some production whenever I was interviewing Coach yesterday for our pregame show. It was interesting because we had 33 plays from scrimmage, I believe it was. 33 plays from scrimmage, over 500 yards of offense in those 33 plays. In the first quarter, we had the ball 3 plays. And Glen's effectiveness in running the ball in the early part of the game really made a difference in keeping us off the field. And I think that was their whole intent was we can't score if we don't have the ball in our hands. And defense made some adjustments. Offense made some adjustments. We started moving down the field, scoring some points, and keeping them out of the end zone. And that was the difference in that. And it was really interesting to us. We talked about it. you usually have halftime adjustments that take place. Defense made some adjustments in that first quarter and really changed how they were attacking the Glenn offense. And it was impressive from Glenn because at the beginning of the season, nobody was talking about Glenn. Everybody was talking about A&M Consolidated, College Station, us, Cedar Park, typically the ones that would be considered the Big Four. But Glenn is a quality football team, young football team, and they're going to be a handful in the future.
And two tough losses for Glenn back to back. You look at it in a double overtime loss at College Station, and then losing the way they did against Georgetown Thursday night. The goal line stand, and I think this defense just rose up and Brandon Stovall made the initial hit. Tyler Duncan there, Obina, Valenta, the linebackers crack. That running back thought he saw daylight, but it lasted for about half of a millisecond, and then it closed. And just the pride from that defense. Yeah. You saw them taking off the field, the handshakes that they go through, and the chest bumping. But a great job of that defense to respond in such a first and goal at the 4-yard line. Glenn had that and had multiple shots. A touchdown brought off the board with a pre-snap penalty that was called. Yep. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. But a defense that did their job. Glenn is in no hurry in that huddle. They take their time. They break the huddle about 10 seconds. But then when it came time to put points on the board in the second half for Glenn, they tried to speed it up, and things just not as systematically normal for them in that. They had to come out of their comfort zone. But it was a good ball game. And the Eagles were victorious. That's what's most important.
I know this is not the Glenn Grizzlies coaches show, but just the tip of the cap to Glenn, and I'm a huge Glenn Grizzly fan this Friday because it would be really fun if they snuck up on A&M Consolidated.
They do have a tough go at it. They will be on the road in College Station to take on A&M Consolidated. What a rough schedule for them on the road to take on College Station and A&M Consolidated both this year. That'll be Georgetown next year. We'll have to return that favor in the second year of this district.
But we still got more football to play.
We do.
How about this crowd tonight? Good crowd here. Thank you guys for all coming to the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street in Georgetown. Great food, great atmosphere, and great people.
Awesome night. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with head coach Chuck Griffin and cut his meal short and let him come up and talk to us about Glenn Grizzlies and that game and kind of the finer points in that, and then maybe an update on this Eagle team and a look into the game Friday night against Cedar Park, the last home game of the year in the regular season, a big game Friday night, an opportunity for these fans to come out one more time in the regular season, and this will make a big difference. A win here does great things for this team and keeps you out of that cellar position in the district standings. With wanting some help on the backside from Glenn and other teams.
And, folks, we'd love for you to watch our broadcast when you get home from the game. Come out to Birkelback. Come out to GISD Athletic Complex. We need a big crowd there because it's the Cedar Park Timberwolves coming in this week, and we got to beat those guys.
A quick timeout. We'll be back with head coach Chuck Griffin. You're listening to Eagle Nation Coaching Show live on SHN. Back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street for the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. And now joined by head coach Chuck Griffin. Man, I tell you what, you can't see his shoes, but Coach looking nice tonight. Got the Jordans on.
Game day shoes.
Game day shoes tonight. But, Coach, you join us, and man, a defensive stand maybe for the ages. As a head coach, have you had that happen many times like that? What a first and goal at the 4-yard line in this defense. doesn't break, doesn't bend, and wins you the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tremendous deal. It was great to see and great for our kids to go out there and have success like that. It was it was – sorry, technical difficulties. I was trying to figure out what she was saying over there.
Look at the camera.
But
oh, that's why Kelly didn't mess with it.
There we go.
Now you're
The
on camera.
camera's on.
Now if you
Okay.
can see Coach in those shoes.
But anyway, I've had a few of those in my career, but that was a pretty special one. Qualifying for the playoffs, that was our target game. We knew Glenn was going to be a really big game for us going into the year. So to be able to go out and execute that and put our guys in that tough of a situation and them to come through is really big. Speaks volumes about them, about our coaching staff, and just about where our team is.
Glenn did a lot on the defensive end to limit our run game. So the ball goes into the hands of Noah Boris running the offense. And Marquise Dominguez showed out. Maybe the game of his career. What a night for him. Noah putting the ball there and Marquise making things happen. But when the offense had to perform, the offense performed. And when the defense had to perform, the defense performed. Kind of a whole game there and an opportunity for these kids to take that momentum now into a big game Friday night.
Yeah, no, it was great for our kids to get out there. And really, they made a few adjustments. It kind of cost us in that first drive. They caught us on 3rd and short by something we weren't expecting. Which is kind of, that's their game plan, right? And then we didn't get to touch the ball. I think we had 13 plays total in the first half.
Wow.
We had 2 touchdowns in those 13 plays, but that was it. So, a really great job out of our whole offensive group, out of Noah and Andrew and out of Marquise and Drayden and Weston and really all our offensive line guys. Man, they just did a tremendous job of doing what we asked them to do and being ready when the time rose. And really – to our coaching staff for doing a good job of prepping our guys for that and being ready to make those adjustments.
It's funny because I'm kind of giving away some of the interview that we had yesterday, but for the pregame show. But you told me in that, we didn't get to run the ball with who we normally do, and Andrew only had 186 yards rushing.
Yeah.
But the running game was scattered amongst several people.
Yeah, it was just different,
Right.
We still, I think, rushed for 211, so we rushed fine, and Andrew had a good night. It was just a little tough going early, tough sledding early, but you have 500 yards of offense. That's a pretty good night. I'll take that most nights.
Oh, yeah.
So, their coaching staff did a great job, and their kids did a really good job, and we kind of played into their hand what they want to do. We gave up. We had 2 big special team errors, and both of those led to us losing a possession and them setting up a score, which is what they want because that's how they're going to win football games. So those kind of put us in a bind. But really proud of our kids the way they showed effort and energy and just being locked in to what we asked them to do so they can win at the end of the game.
One play that stuck out that we talked about during the ball game on the broadcast was. When Noah laid up the pass on the wheel route to Andrew, when the ball was released, Andrew was about even with his defender. And by the time the ball hit Andrew's hands, he had about 2 yards on it. It's just crazy the speed that Andrew possesses, that a lot of people see the power and the size, but that deceiving speed and the ability then to get him out of the backfield and still get him touches.
Yeah, it's a pretty special play to watch live. I watch it on video, it does not do it justice. I haven't seen y'all's broadcast to see what it looks like on y'all's video, but watching it live when he threw it, I was like, man, we overthrew it. And then just to watch Andrew go and get it was pretty awesome. That was a big-time play for sure.
Well, I'm just going to say that the broadcast is pretty good.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
So,
broadcast looks awesome. The speed that you have, not only on the offense but the defensive side of the ball, is and it's a cliche, but speed kills in this game. Yep. And the speed, talk about the speed on the defensive side of the ball because we saw – Brandon Stovall, we've talked about Brandon the last couple of weeks. Seems like he's kicked into an extra gear, and he's playing well. That front line's playing well. They did a good job.
Our front line played extremely well. I was thinking about that before it came up. Just on that last drive, I think Tyler Duncan tackled the mesh 3 times on the last drive. Jug had a big tackle for loss on the last drive. Michael had one, and then Andrew Brandon having the game-winning tackle. All of that's our defensive line and making plays just on the last drive. Our linebackers did a tremendous job. We got lots of speed with Landry and Jacob and Ian, and our corners are doing great. And really, you think about our defensive line. Tyler's a hurdler. you know, he's a varsity level hurdler that gets out of district, and he's playing defensive end for us. So he's got some speed.
Yeah.
And it made it tough on him. So really proud of our defense and the way they were able to play.
One play though, I think we have to address it. The elephant in the room, on the kickoff, Michael Valenta touches the ball. Glenn gets
punt.
it back on the punt.
Block punt.
Block punt by Ian Lewis, I believe it was. On a beautiful block punt. But then for Michael to respond. The plays he made on that drive, it spoke of his character and the ability to kind of get past that and still be a big part of this defense.
Well, I mean, that was a big play, and obviously it negatively impacted us, but really it's just a football play. I mean, everybody knows the rule. Like, if it passes the line, they can't advance it. If it doesn't, then they can advance it. But that ball's right there. And, like, in game speed, when you're pulling out of getting off your block and running over there, like, you don't know where the ball is, whether it's 1 yard over or 1 yard behind. So he's got to dive on it. And, bounced out and went their way, and he just stepped up in our defense. But, it put our defense in a position where they had to rise to occasion, and that's going to pay off later in the season. So it was cool to see that out of our whole group, just kind of rally behind a player. And I mean, I would expect Michael to make the same type of play all the time because that's just the way the game rolls. I mean, you can't not make that play.
And I just love the fact he didn't put his head down. He got back in there on the defensive line and ended up making a big play on that drive, a big hit for a loss, stopping the running back. And he kept focused, and his teammates continued to grab him and make sure he was up in that. It spoke volumes of that defense and that stand they made there.
Yeah, for sure.
So one more play that we need to talk about, and you and I talked about it already, the play at the goal line that was stopped. Mm-hmm. And there was confusion up in the press box. It's funny because the guy running the scoreboard said, I didn't know what happened. Everybody up in the press box didn't know what had happened because we didn't have good communication with the officials. Explain to folks there was a penalty. It looked like they had crossed the goal line, but the play had been blown dead.
Yeah, so what happened, I mean, kudos to the officials. Like, they did a tremendous job in that game. And then really the end of the game, they did a really good job of controlling the game and not giving the game to either team, like letting the play on the field dictate the game. And they did a really good job of that. You know, what happened is we come out of the timeout, and we go out to the field, and we line up, and we make a mistake. We've got 12 players on the field. And if you're subbing a 12th player on the field and you don't get off, they allow that play to continue. Then the offense gets a choice, take the penalty or the play. But when you're lined up with 12 players, it's actually a legal procedure, which is a dead ball, no play. Still debatable. Like, I'm not sure he got in the end zone anyway. Like, that'd be one, like, you need the end zone line camera to see if he got in the end zone.
Camera.
Yeah. I mean, you need to see if he got in the end zone anyway. But at the same time, the whistle blown. So not everybody we had on defense was playing because the whistle was being blown. There were officials running in to stop the play. So that was the deal. They assumed penalty on us and that he got in, and they put the points on the board. But the officials did a tremendous job of one, knowing the rule, of knowing how it lined out and being able to keep that straight and keep us on task, and there not being a long delay. Just, hey, here's what it is. And I mean, you could tell from the Glenn staff, they knew the rule. They knew the way it was too. So, it's just a mistake on our part that actually helped us out.
And kudos to the officials. Take a little bit of time, but get it right.
Yep.
For the sake of the game and these kids. Get it right, and they did that. And then the defense stepped up and made two huge stops from inside the 1 yard line.
Yep.
And then walk us through the last play there with going for the safety part instead of taking a chance to try to get it out of the end zone.
So it kind of a unique deal. I've run that one other time in my career, and it's 14 years ago in that stadium, beating Cedar Park to qualify for the playoffs. Is the only other time I've run that in my career. And that night we actually ran it from like the 36-yard line because we had a whole minute to burn off the clock. It's something we work every Thursday. We talk about it, and there's only one way to lose the game at that point, and that's to turn the ball over to them. Like, turn the ball, fumble the snap and turn the ball right there, or fumble the exchange and turn the ball over in the end zone. That's the only way to lose the game. So we got to figure out how to get the ball out of that area without those things happening. So we could give up the 2 points. It still gave us, they would have to score, they would have a chance to block if they did score, but the idea was to run out all 8 seconds on that, and that's why I put Drayden back there in that position, fastest guy we got, and we did have one mistake, we talk about it all the time, but we had two guys go to the same guy and we turned a guy loose, and that's the only reason we weren't able to wind out all 8 seconds. You know, we only wound out 6. But you know, you love to see that. I told the kids, all the games we're going to play now, like they're all going to finish like that. Like if you think about the College Station game, you think about that game, and the end of the game, all our games are going to finish like that from here on out. And that's why you play this long. That's why you practice. That's why we have meetings. That's why we talk through these things, because you've got to know what to do in that situation. And all our games are going to finish like that, you know. So I told them, man, I've been running that play every Thursday for 14 years, and I used it one time and it won us a game. But that's the mindset you got to have at this point in the season, because there's not going to be any blowout wins. Like, they're all going to be close like that, and we're going to find ways to win and know where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing on the last play of the game.
And now we turn to Cedar Park Friday night at home for the last district game in the non-playoff time frame of the season, and it's a big game.
Yeah.
A lot of things can happen in the district and standings. We know the 4 teams in, but we just don't know the order at this point.
Yeah.
When you have 3 teams with 1 loss each, Cedar Park with 2. Georgetown controls business and gets a win. They kind of set themselves up, and you just got to play where the cards fall. Walk us through that.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different scenarios, and you know, one, we got to win. I mean, obviously, you say, hey, we get a game this week, we're going to try to win the football game. It's Cedar Park, we're obviously going to try to win the football game, right? It's for playoff seeding, we're going to try to win the football game. So there's so many things wrapped up in this.
And
but
share of a district title.
That's right, and that's the other one. So if we lose the game, we end up in 4th place. We got to go play Smithson Valley, the number 1 team in the region, just dropped down from 6A. They're really good. Like, nobody wants to do that. You know, Cedar Park is playing from the other standpoint, is they're playing Georgetown, and they're also trying they don't want to go play Smithson Valley, right? So they're trying to move up, try to end up at 5-5 on the year. So they're going to give us their best shot. You know, but for us, a win secures us the 3rd spot. You never say never. Probably not going to end up in 2nd. That's a weird scenario. That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, Consolidated and College Station would both have to lose. No. College Station lose. A&M
College
win.
Station would have to lose to Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Is that, and we win, and that would put us in 2nd. But most likely not going to happen. But I do feel like Glenn has a great opportunity to beat A&M Consolidated. I mean, it took College Station to double overtime, almost took us to overtime. You know, what they do works. It's going to work in the weather regardless, you know. So they got a lot to play for. It's final game for them. I mean, they've got a big deal to play for their seniors. So, but if they can mess around and beat A&M Consolidated, then it puts and we win, then it puts us in sole district championship.
And now a win guarantees us
a 3rd spot,
at least a share of the district title.
Yes, it's and I say 3rd spot. It is. We'll all be tri-champs. We're all tied, and then by points we take the 3rd spot in seeding, which probably puts us. We'll play either San Antonio Wagner or New Braunfels Canyon at their place if we're the 3rd seed.
And so an important game on Friday night.
Yeah.
A thing you've talked about with Kelly, it's kind of leaked out to us. A new look, a beautiful look on Friday night with the uniforms.
Are you keeping it secret?
Well, not anymore.
No, I haven't said it.
We won't say what it is.
You just said it.
No.
So,
He didn't say what it was.
I don't care.
Just a new look that'll be beautiful to be a part of, and so. But in that new look, rumor has it one of your players is going to be back in uniform this week. Talk to us about Tucker.
Oh yeah. So Tuck went to the doctor today and got some better news. He's going to dress out this week, and you know the word is acceptable risk. So
what's mom called?
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, well, we got to talk about this acceptable risk with mom when we leave. But you know, the doctor understands it's the senior year. Doctor understands it's a big game and all those kind of things. And you know, fortunately, we're in a position where Noah has been playing really, really well, and we don't have to make a change. You know, we don't have to do that, and we're not planning on doing that. The idea is for Tucker to be ready there in case of an emergency, you know, and that type of situation. And that would be kind of a feel when it happens in the game, what it is. You know, he's probably fine, but, you know, there's a greater chance now. In a week, it'll be a less chance. In 2 weeks, it'll be an even less chance. So
and there's a future as well for Tucker.
Right. Yeah, and he's got an opportunity to go play at the next level, so we want to make sure we're smart with that too. So, you know, we're fortunate Noah is playing really, really well. And Noah and Tucker are doing a really good job of working together. It speaks volumes about both those guys and their character and what they're willing to do. Hey, it's good news for mom and dad, and good news for him. He gets to dress out and all those kind of things.
I want to say this to you, your wife, and to Tucker. Tucker got some bad news. Wasn't news he liked, but he sucked it up and has been the consummate teammate. Tip of the cap to you guys. Tip of the cap to Tucker for doing that, and we wish him only the best in the future. And hope to see him with that G on the side of his helmet.
And we could go back to week 1. When we talked to Tucker after the win in the first coaches show, Tucker was the first one to talk about the praises of, hey, don't sleep on this Noah Boris kid. He has an arm, and they ran that one play. It came off where he goes, don't let that fool you. And Tucker was Noah's biggest cheerleader, talking about, hey, there's a hidden gem, be careful. And now when it came to fruition with an injury to Tucker, Tucker became that mentor. And it stepped in and did a great job to help Noah become that's in that starting role and to step up for this team, which he has done. But with the help of his teammate that went through an injury, but yet led this team in off the field, and it speaks volumes to Tucker and what he's done this year.
And in our conversations, it's almost been like having an extra coach on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job of kind of coming back behind Coach Beatty and all those guys when we make adjustments and just talking through stuff with Noah, or even talking stuff in prep. Pre-game, he takes his game sheet out there and goes through all the handwork and footwork with Noah before the game, and so that's really cool to see, and I know it's that's something big. It's been big for Noah and big for our team, I think, as well.
Tip of the cap to you guys, and Tucker. Tucker, congratulations, buddy. We're proud of you. And looking forward to seeing you back in that uniform Friday night.
I did ask him before the show if he remembered how to put his shoulder pads on and make sure they were tight just in case. And so he said he's good to go.
They just might see a little crooked tomorrow night.
You never know. But it'll have that number 4 on again, and we'll see it back on the side in that Georgetown uniform. Coming up, we got Colin Casey, O.C. Presley, a couple of defensive backs to talk to.
Hey, I'm going to warn you now, Colin is a talker.
All right.
You're going to have to do a really good job of keeping him under wraps.
OC's nervous.
Because OC got a little nervous when I told him, but Colin, man, he's a talker. You got to watch him.
That's careful.
All right. We got to experience Colin's mom last week. She represented the Booster Club and just spoke volumes about Colin and man, the job he's done. OC's coming on. We talked about that big hit a couple weeks ago. A throw to the ground when that occurred. And so we'll get to visit with them. But Friday night, 7 o'clock, Cedar Park. It could be a nasty weather night. Looks like rain in the forecast, 80% on Friday. But it's going to be a big football game that this Georgetown Eagle team has their sights set to win and claim a share of this conference district title.
It's not going to be cold and wet. It's just going to be wet. So come out to the stadium, buy you a blue raincoat, poncho, and come support these Eagles.
That's right.
7 o'clock, live from Birkelbach Field. Your Georgetown Eagles take on the Cedar Park Timberwolves. Big game. Come out, support them. If you can't be there, join us. SHN pregame will be live at 6:15. 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll have it all here. Quick timeout on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. Back with more interviews in just a moment. we're back live here at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, joined by number 19 on the roster, Colin Casey. Joins us here live at the Golden Rule. Fan club in full tack tonight. Colin, we got to talk to your mom last week, and now we get to visit with you. This number 19, this Colin Casey kid, the name keeps coming up more and more every week. As the opportunities roll, it's like you're taking advantage of them and becoming a vital part of this defense. How much fun has that become through this year as the opportunities increase and your number gets called and you start making plays on this defense to help things out?
It's been fun. Like, I love being on this defense, so like yeah, that's it.
You can't get shy on me now. I know. I tell you what. So now, Friday night, a game like, or Thursday night against Glenn, a game like that where this defense stands up and has a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line, and you guys keep Glenn out of the end zone for a big win. The key to shutting it down and winning this ball game. How much fun was that to be a part of, and the vibe in that locker room after the game that this defense made a huge stand that led to a guaranteed playoff spot for you guys?
It was fun. I actually yelled on the sideline for the first time, like when he made that goal line stop. So.
But all night, you guys had to change on the fly. Things that got thrown at you guys, Glenn, the way this defense played. Walk through that. What in a game like that, how big is that Coach Nicky's right there with you guys making these changes? You guys respond, and you see that coming to fruition in the second half. You guys take over and put the pressure then on Glenn. How much fun is that for that turnaround to occur and to trust into Coach Nicky and this coaching staff to make those plays?
It's I don't.
You tell me. You talk to me. Whatever you want to. You've just become more and more involved in this defense. Is that one? I guess that's a goal in your senior year, right? You want to go out on the high. You guys playing against Cedar Park on a Friday night. How much fun has that been to constantly now this number's coming up? Hey, on the field, and making these plays. How much fun has that become as your senior year as things come towards the end of the football season for you? And how much enjoyment have you gotten out of that?
It's fun. It's my senior season, so it's my last year. So I gotta make it count. So.
And now getting that opportunity as the season goes on, making the most of that. How does that feel for you?
It feels good, parents always told me to make it count and, like, do everything my senior year. So,
What does the future for Colin Casey hold after Georgetown? After graduation, what are you going to do? What's your plans?
Go to JUCO, then, like, switch to a 4-year school.
Okay. You going to try to play football at the next level or just going to school?
Just going to school, yeah.
What do you plan on studying?
Probably like business or like finance stuff.
Okay. It's a good part to get into. Finance seems right now to be the going thing. As the senior year, what's been the funnest thing for you on this team? And as with new coaching comes in, you never know what's going to happen. But Coach Nicky has formed a defense that has been fun to watch. The unexpected continues to happen from this defense. Walk through that in your senior year. How much fun have you had in this senior year, your final year at Georgetown, wearing this uniform with this defense? It seems like the camaraderie continues to grow. How much fun has that been for you?
It's been really fun, hanging with my guys. Defense, just my teammates, hanging with my teammates, and just building bonds with them, like building relationships, and staying in contact even after high school. So.
Has there been a challenge with the defense and the offense this year about who's been better, who does better, or is it a challenge to you guys stop, get the ball, get it to the offense, and let them go to work? What's been the funnest of that? And do you guys challenge the offense? Hey, we got you the ball, now go put some points on the board? Or is it just, hey, we're going to take care of business, y'all take care of y'all?
We both got to take care of business. And, we're all a team, so
You enjoying it?
Yeah.
You looking forward to Friday night?
Yes, sir.
Cedar Park, it's a big opponent. Come in. We know it's a guaranteed district championship with a win, a share of that title. How big would that be for you in your senior year?
That would be very big, It's memories, so.
Enjoy them while they last, a guaranteed playoff spot, so we know the season continues on after this Friday night. Any shout-outs to share with us before we get you out of here?
Shout out my mom and dad.
Shout out to Mom and Dad. Number 19, Colin Casey. We'll take a quick timeout. O.C. Presley comes up next. You're listening to the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live on SHN. Back here live on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show from the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street. Number 24 comes your way. His name, I'm not even going to say it right, so I'm just going to say O.C. Presley.
You said it right.
Joins out because it's like, how do you say your full name?
Osice.
Osice. I knew I was going to mess it up, so we're going to stick with O.C. Presley. 2 weeks ago, we got to talk about it. Kelly and I enjoyed it. I've watched that clip several times. Big hit comes around your way, and then a man all of a sudden just falls to the floor. And he got thrown there at a high rate of speed. How much fun is it laying out hits like that?
It's really fun. I like doing it all the time.
Your number seems to be getting called, like Colin this year. More opportunities coming the way of number 24. How much fun are you having being out on that field and making the most of these opportunities when you're out there with this defense to make a difference?
I love it. They all bring me up, give me all hype and everything. I just can't step up. Can't wait to have Leo back and everything.
You and Colin have stepped in a role like that when one of the starters, Leo, goes out. This defense from the line, we've talked to some of the linemen back and forth with Jug and with Tyler and Brandon, and then we talked to the linebackers and different linebackers about it, and now we talked to some of you defensive players in the defensive backfield. How contagious is that energy? We talked about it last week with Brandon Stovall. It seems like he's playing with his hair on fire lately. Just an energy to lead and to be one of the leaders, but going out and making play after play. How big is that for you guys to feed off that for each other to continue to keep people up and playing at the highest level each week?
I feel like it helps a lot. We do a lot better with a lot of more energy and everything else.
Are you able to personally keep up with the energy of Coach Nicky?
No.
I keep checking with you guys.
He's crazy.
It is fun to watch him come out, and boy, he loves to get up in the air, chest bump. When you guys make a big play, goal line stand like that the other night, the crowd, Georgetown crowd going nuts. One thing I forgot to ask Colin, I'll ask you. At one point in that ball game, your student section leaves from this end of the stadium and comes down to the other end to be loud to affect Leander, to affect the Grizzlies, to make it tough on them. How big is that? Do you guys see that? Do you guys feel that from your fellow student body and these fans when they get up and make noise and try to make things more difficult for the other team?
I didn't even know until like the end of the game after my brother told me they all moved. I thought it was pretty cool to give us all hype and everything on the goal line.
We look up at one point, we're like, where's the student section? They're migrating to the other end zone. And, boy, they started making noise, making it difficult. You guys continue to put on show after show. This defense was questioned at the beginning. What are the changes going to be? What are the experience going to be? New guys coming in. You had a Michael Valenta in there that came back on the line. Leo Diaz, Landry Leggett had some experience. And Lewis came back. Some names came back, but still the unknown. You had the defensive coordinator leave, and now Coach Nicky comes in. How much pride do you guys take in the fact that you guys have answered questions, and now people talk about this defense and what is it called, death row defense, that even FLX ATX talks about it. They tweeted about it several times this week after the big stand and the win there on the road at Glenn. How much pride is there in that to be a part of this defense that's making a difference and people now start to talk about?
We take a lot of pride. We do a lot of preparations for every game where we do everything to key on people, make plays, and just have a lot more energy every single game.
We go from a different offense from Glenn to now an opponent like Cedar Park. People want to beat Cedar Park. They've made a name for themselves the past few years. They've had a great team. They're having one of those years where they fought through some adversity, and now they're in the playoffs. But an opportunity for you guys to kind of squelch some of that noise from them and to guarantee yourself and share the title. How big is this game Friday night for you guys and an opportunity to put a loss on Cedar Park?
It'd be pretty big. We're going to try to win every single time. Beat them every play, one play at a time. Like Coach Griff said, let's play.
After this last week, you guys end on a high with a big stop, goal line stand. The Eagles win a game on the road. How hard do you guys work this week getting ready for Cedar Park and putting that game behind you and not letting it affect you the rest of the week? How has practice gone? How has preparation gone for Cedar Park?
Preparation's going really good. We're ready for them, ready for anything they throw at us.
So you're ready for Friday night. Thursdays can't get over soon enough?
Yes, sir.
Kelly and I said that today. We kind of work is going to stink tomorrow when I have to go to work because it's just another day waiting for Friday night football to watch you guys perform again. What's the plans for OC? You got another year behind you to come in. What's that? Is there pressure there? Have you thought about that you're going to come back as a senior with some great experience as a junior to be one of these leaders on this defense next year?
Yes, sir.
You looking forward to that?
Yes, sir. A lot.
You got several of you guys coming back on the defensive side. It's going to be fun to watch as you guys come back with Coach Nicky in his second year and the effect you guys are going to have on the younger group as they continue to grow. Plans for you after high school?
Probably go HBCU.
All right.
I'll probably go to Prairie View because my cousin goes there. I really like it.
Prairie View A&M. It's a good school. Good school. All right. Any shout-outs before I let you go?
Death Row Defense, my parents, coaching staff, Colin Casey, my boy, and Leo, and I forget Alex and my family.
All right. Number 24, O.C. Presley. Thanks for joining us tonight, O.C. We'll take a quick timeout. It's trivia time. The defense has a chance to tie it up tonight. Otherwise, the offense takes the season title. We'll be right back here on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live from the Golden Rule. Back here live at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, 606 South Church Street at the Golden Rule. It is now trivia time and a subject matter that these guys might know something about, especially if they paid attention to SportsCenter yesterday and all the talk. NCAA football. All right. Got to raise a hand. All right, question number 1. Oh, offense, 1-0. Question 2. Bam. Good job. Uh-oh. Offense. All right. Uh-oh. That's because I had it muted, just so you know. So question 1, college football playoff rankings. Who's number 1? Tennessee, they got that. And number 2 was the Big 12 school ranked the highest. TCU ranked number 7. The offense. They probably are. All right, we'll go again. All right, number 3.
All right.
Yep, that's better. Should have
I
watched
gotta
the
find
board.
it. All right. In college football, nope, sorry, wrong question. Number 3, who is the defending college football national champions?
Georgia Bulldogs.
All right.
2-1.
2-1.
Defense stepping up. Question number 4.
In college football playoff rankings, there is one team in the top 25 with 3 losses. Who is that?
Texas.
Correct.
You know what they're ranked? Number 24. But the only team with 3 losses in the top 25.
All right. Here's last question. What is the mascot for UC Irvine?
A bear.
Incorrect.
Knight.
No.
Eagle.
Incorrect.
Tree holly.
Incorrect.
It is the Anteaters.
The Anteaters.
I had to make one hard question in there. So offense wins, and that makes it 5-3. So, we'll have to do a coach show next week because of the playoff game. So a chance for them to come back. We may have to do a final one. But 5-3, offense takes the lead. Quick timeout. Come back with the Booster Club update, and we'll sign off. You're listening to Eagle Nation Coaches Show live on SHN. Back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street. It is going. I didn't switch it because I didn't want it to mess up again. The Golden Rule, host of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, now joined by Mr. Greg Petter, the president of the Georgetown Eagle Football Booster Club. Mr. Petter, last home Friday night football game in the regular season. Another opportunity for these fans to come out and tailgate 5 o'clock on Friday night.
About 5 o'clock, we have South Star Bank coming out with some big smokers. They're going to be cooking burgers and hot dogs and serve cookies. It's not going to be just your regular hot dogs and burgers. It's going to be pretty good. And one thing I'd like to encourage, it might be one of the last walkthroughs or the last walkthrough for the seniors. So I'd like to see everybody come out and support them, especially the senior parents.
Coach, 5:30-ish is about the time you guys walk. Okay. So it's important, one, come out at 5 o'clock enjoying the food, to enjoy it, because the other night it goes quick. The crowd's getting bigger and bigger, but an opportunity to enjoy the camaraderie amongst all the fans. 5:25, be ready. That's going to be the walk. And you're right, I didn't even think about that. This may be the last senior walk for a lot of these players, and an opportunity to come out and support them, to line that roadway. It's so fun to watch and to see those kids as they walk and head to the Fieldhouse locker room to prepare for their battle of the night. And this is a big one on Friday night against a team like Cedar Park. But it's awesome to see the involvement of the community this year. South Star Bank to come out and to do this and do the cooking and allow the parents and allow the board members to actually enjoy a meal and not have to sit there and be out there early cooking. How has that worked out this year, having these restaurants and everything be a part of this and give back in the community to ease up some of the burden on the Booster Club?
I think it's worked out really well. Like you said, we haven't had to show up like at 2:30 or 3, take off work real early, and run there and try to cook the food in time. It's been ready to go. JD's done a good job of coordinating, and it's worked out.
Next week, it'll all depend on how this week goes and where we get seated. And so we'll bring you updates next week at the Coaches Show for where we're going to be, where we might tailgate. If we do end up 1 or 2 seed, we will be at home and an opportunity to tailgate one more time. But we could end up 3rd or 4th seed and be on the road and have another meetup for a dinner. The board continues to press forward. Volunteers, tomorrow night, there will be freshman football at the campus. Volunteers needed for merchandise or concession stands. I know we go out there and see you guys in a lot of the board members out there working the concession stand and always visible. Still a need for always to have more volunteers.
Definitely, we need concession stand workers tomorrow night, and then and merchandise both Thursday and Friday night, because we'll have the home game.
Merchandise, so much to pick from. Every time I go past, it ends up costing me money because I find something else I need to put in my repertoire of Georgetown gear. But an opportunity for people to get involved. It's important that the freshman and JV parents get involved on Friday night to allow these senior parents and these varsity parents to be out and watch their kids participate. And then likewise on Thursday nights to get out and support, to allow parents to watch their freshmen and JV players be a part of this. The banquet coming up in January, how's that rolling, and any needs that the Booster Club has there?
Not right now. We got it scheduled for towards the end of January, and everything's set for right now. The only thing I'd add, we'll talk about it more as playoffs is next week, but we do have our playoff shirts available. You can order them online at georgetownfootball.com. We'll have that order open until like next Tuesday. We've only ordered so many different sizes, so it's first come, first serve.
Honey, if you'll make a note of that, georgetownfootball.com, playoff shirts on order. So jump online, get those ordered. This Eagle team guaranteed another playoff year under Coach Chuck Griffin. An awesome job on Thursday night against Glenn to guarantee that spot, but a big game on Friday night. I'm going to ask you, before I let you go, Mr. Petter, as a dad, how's this season been? How much fun are you having in this season to watch Andrew and all the success he's been having as a big part of this offense and this team and is in a big year like this?
It's fun. It's been good to see him take that role as the lead running back, as well as just the whole team as well. Not just the running backs, the wide receivers, the offensive line, and the way the defense is coming together.
Oh, I tell you what, that was so fun to talk to OC and to Colin about that. A lot of questions came. A lot of people wondering where this defense is going to go under new leadership. And I think they've quieted a lot of the doubt and made a name for themselves. And it's been fun to watch because this offense, many a drives doesn't waste much time off that clock. And they put it down the field. Noah doing a great job leading this team in his role this year. And then Drayden and Marquise, West and Bruce stepping up, making big plays. And then watching Andrew and as they had that big catch the other night on that wheel route was so fun to watch. And so an opportunity Friday night, 7 o'clock, live at Birkelbach Field. Come out, 5 o'clock. A big tailgate. I can't wait to be there. South Star Bank. South Star Bank will be out there cooking hot dogs, hamburgers, cookies. Come out and enjoy it, but be there for these players. At 5:25 walkthrough, be there to support them as they head over to the field to take on the Cedar Park Timberwolves. Thanks for joining us tonight, Mr. Petter.
Thank you.
Another coach or meeting on Monday night.
Yes, sir.
at the Fieldhouse, 6 o'clock. Come enjoy that. The coaches all give up their updates for the week, talk about the star performances, show the highlights, take questions, an opportunity to just continue to grow. One, be a part of this booster club and what it does for these student athletes in this program, but two, to kind of see the inside workings of this football program and be a part of it and get to hear the coach's perspective on how that game went. We're done for tonight. The Eagle Nation Coaches Show brought to you live here at the Golden Rule. Thank you to the Golden Rule and all their help, making this each and every week so fun to be here and a great place for these kids. The offense continues to take control in the trivia. The trophy may be already on order. I can't say, but it may be on order for the offense. But we'll be back live next week for the Coaches Show. One more week here at least at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street. Come and join us next week, but more importantly, join us Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff, live from Burkle Bach Field. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good night. Remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind.